Hi girl, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm gonna tell you how my spiritual awakening actually helped me to heal. And if you never had a spiritual awakening, it's okay, you can still heal, but it's a lot of bunch of things I realized. And I actually realized something about the girls who are suffering from endometriosis. So if you're thinking, oh, how is that related with endo? Well, it really is related. And wait till the end of this video, because I'm gonna actually share with you something, and I'm very curious, is it gonna resonate with you and if you feel exactly the same as I did. So let's first start. What was the spiritual awakening? Basically, I was like in my lowest of the low, and I was in so much pain. I lost the baby, and I actually explained it in this video, which you can see somewhere here, what I understood from my spiritual awakening. Basically, it developed some kind of very strong connection between me and my body. Like, I went through the life thinking that is always me against my body, and I saw my body as something what never cooperates with me, which always fails me. I had my plans, my body had, ways to jeopardize all my plans. So I saw my body like an enemy, basically like an enemy. And at this moment, when I experienced this spiritual awakening, I realized that I'm actually one with my body, and whatever I'm doing to my body, I'm doing to myself, like the deep myself. And I understood so clearly the things which I was doing wrong, even which it means eating excessive refined sugar. And I felt like very repulsive, to the point that I just couldn't even think of buying like chocolate bars and eating them. I just couldn't. And I'm the first person, to say before period, that was only what Yola was eating, the chocolates, all this refined sugar. But at this moment, I was in such a deep integrity with my body that inflammatory diet became like no-brainer for me. It was not something what, oh my God, I have to follow so strictly. It was so clear, and so it makes so much sense in my head, and I couldn't comprehend how I could live otherwise, other way around. I just couldn't. And it started from apologizing to my body. I actually did apologize to my body. And if you remember this video when I talk about weight and endometriosis, you remember that I hated, my body. I didn't even touch it when I shower. And at this moment, I apologized to my body. I just put my hands, on my tummy, and I just said, I love you, and I'm so sorry, and I promise we'll get better. We're gonna get through this. And even now I'm getting emotional, as you can see by my eyes. But I really did apologize, and I said thank you to my body as well for keeping strong for so long, and for giving me this chance to actually realize what I have to do to help you, And I remember that I suffer as well from horrible acne. And I took my hands to my face, and I apologized as well. I was like, I'm very sorry, and you see, it makes me emotional even talking about it. But that was such a big step from hating your body to acknowledging that you are one with your body, and even apologizing to your own body. Forgiveness helped me to heal massively. And forgiving myself as well as forgiving others. Because when you check, and I urge you to Google it, check something which is called the cell memory. Basically, our cells are storing all our memories and all our emotions. So if we operate in the mode, which is the survival mode, which I was operating for like over 20 years of my life, we don't have the ability to heal, because we are in constant fight and flight mode, and we just pumping the adrenaline, pumping the cortisol, increasing inflammation. We are in a constant, panic state, and you cannot heal when you're like this. You just cannot heal. And when I found out first about the cell memory, I was like, whoa, so which kind of memories I actually store in my body? And then I studied a lot about the energy medicine, and I learned how to ask your body in which part of your body the memories are stored, and how to recognize which kind of memories are they, because yes, there is some kind of patterns which you can go through and ask your body. This is what I'm doing in my group with my girls. And I discovered how to clean this energy as well. And that led me to learning EFT. I did EFT practitioner course, which is emotional freedom technique and the tapping. That led me to learning about the meridians and about kinesiology. And that led me to learning more about hypnosis, which really changed my life, because it's unlocked so many emotions, things which kept me from healing properly. So on the piece of paper, I wrote everything what anyone did bad to me, to just check which kind of emotion am I storing in my body. I wanted to get rid of all of it. So I write it down, everything what somebody said about my look. So I write it down, these mean girls in the school, the first boyfriend who didn't like something, and blah, 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 blah. I write. Then I write something what somebody said about my intellect. So I write down, for example, when I say something in school, everybody laughed. So, small things like this. I write what was it and which person did it. And all of a sudden, I just ended up with 10 pieces of papers like this, 10 of them. And I was like, whew, that's the hell of bloody emotions right here. How I'm gonna deal with them. And because I love the rituals, I make so many rituals in my life, and I actually make my own rituals. So I thought, well, I'm gonna actually ritualize all this, and I'm gonna burn the shit out of them, literally. So Yola took the big ball. It's too far to show you, but the big ball which I'm actually burning things. So I went through this. It's called I think Ho'oponopono technique. Is basically the technique from Hawaii. Indigenous Hawaiian people actually make this kind of forgiveness technique, which is very popular these days. I didn't know it's called like this back then, but I made it my own twist. So basically, every single person who did me wrong, I visualize them in front of me. I read their name, I read what they did, and I told them, I forgive you, thank you, and I love you, to every single person. And then I visualize that this person is standing in front of me and saying exactly the same to me. I forgive you, thank you, and I love you. And you know what? When that was like the random people, like from the school or whatever, people which you going in the life and forget about them, that was okay. But when it comes to the closest people of your family, the people who you never had this kind of good relationship with in the first place, then the things get heavy. So when I, for example, imagine my mother, and my mother is just different kind of story, guys. It's basically this kind of toxic person, which is very hard to live with. This kind of narcissist. Yeah, so if you have narcissist parent, I can relate to this. I can literally see myself in you, and you probably can see yourself in me. So when I visualized mother telling me these things, that was strange, because I knew that in private life, in the normal world, she would never say that. She would never say I'm sorry to me. So that was kind of, you know, strange feeling. But I went through every single person on my list, and when I did this, I actually burned the page. Whoosh, forgiven, whoosh, burned. Yola set this on fire, and whoosh, with the flames, I literally cleansed it, like in a ritualistic way. So yeah, that was it. And then that was the time when I have to forgive myself. So I did this journal therapy as well, and I write down everything. I'm not that, you know, happy with myself, the things which I'm still holding, even the smallest things. Like, for example, I had a dog which I love so much, you know, from deep of my heart, but I work abroad and he was in Poland, so half of his life I actually missed. And I was thinking that oh my god, I'm such a bad owner, and you know, he deserved much better, and he gives so much love in my life, and I wasn't there for him. So I actually forgive myself this too. And when I did, because my hip always hurt, and when I did forgive this, my hip, I swear to God, my hip stopped hurting me. And that was the hip which my dog was lying on me when we walk, because when he got older, he was just, you know, pushing on the. So I was basically carrying the grief and feeling like powerless, you know, and all this guilt I was literally carrying on my hip. Can you imagine?